fellas, from here on out, you're only going to be getting Dragon game replays. It's just high tier gameplay at this point. I have too many recordings. But first game, it's a bit of a treat because here we have stream sniping team, right? They love the stream snipe. They love to cheat me out of wins, but you know, I show you how I clown on these kids, right? So I ended up popping a peeper here because I know someone spawns. It's coordinator. Do not be afraid to chase a coordinator. Coordinator is very easy to deal with, especially as feaster. Just check it. I hold my tentacle here. I hold it up to my chest, and as soon as I know she like does her little animation to turn and shoot, I just pop it. Flare hits the tentacle. I get a free hit, right? And it also hits the morale, right? So here she messes up because I pop a peeper, she's walking away from the pallet, which is really bad. You don't want to do this in this area. I end up popping a tentacle perfectly, and because I have vision on that said tentacle over that specific pallet, and the peeper's there along with the debuff on the tentacle, she vaults slow enough for me to go through my whole vaulting animation, and then I just look at the tentacle, boom, she gets hit, she's down, easy peasy, right? So here, pop a peeper, you know what it is. Now, I'm looking at all the ciphers. I have to see who is where, right? Get locations of everybody. So I know one person's by the factory. She dropped I find Ada here, so I know where 2 people are, and then I need to find the other person. And I think at this point, I end up looking at that cipher on the left, and I see it wiggling, that's her. She's coming to rescue because Ada can't, because I'm oppressing Ada, and Perfumer's a lot better at rescuing than Ada. Well, actually, they're both kind of on even terms if I didn't actually hit anyone. But anywho, she ends up popping Perfumer. I end up hitting her here. She retracts because if she doesn't retract, there's going to be a tactical waiting for her at chair, and then she messes up the rescue, and then that's an instant down, right? So that's a good play on their part. But terrible play here. I end up goofing here. I shouldn't have done this. I end up wasting a Perfume, which is good, but they end up successfully rescuing. But because they took so long, they ended up rescuing after half. So here they have to block for coordinator, because if they don't, the game's going to end a lot faster. So I know she's going to run around this box, so it's the most obvious thing ever. Ada tries to block, but she doesn't. I end up nightmare gazing her, aka my ultimate, pop a tentacle there, she ends up going down, tentacle spawns, and then Ada ends up eating another tentacle because I think she tried to circle one, but because the other one spawned, it messed her up, and then she ended up eating a hit. But that's a death in 2 ciphers, which is huge for me. What's also huge is the fact that all the ciphers are basically on one end. If they end up popping the cipher here, and now that all the ciphers are on one end, it's pretty good for me. I end up catching Perfumer here, and then I end up seeing Ada a mile away. I nightmare gaze Perfumer to see if I can bait her tentacle, but I know I'm really not gonna go for this chase here because she does have that single Perfume. So I saw Ada come this way, this is the best bet. I end up spawning one on the right, she walks away, she tries to walk back, and it just messes her up entirely, right? So I pick her up here. I know there's a chair over there, but I see one in between these 2 ciphers, and you always want to chair them closest to the cipher so you can harass, right? So I end up popping a tentacle there, popping a peeper here. So she can't work on that because of the peeper, and then I'm just like nightmare gazing her, and I'm just walking back and forth to make sure Priestess thinks I'm going to chase her, but I'm really not going to chase her. It's just a little safe measure. She ends up getting away here, I think, with only like 1 hit. Reason I didn't down her any faster is because there's a slight animation lock whenever you perform like a specific action, such as attacking, using your tentacles. But yeah, I know she's gonna vault through this window. She doesn't have broken windows, and if she did, good on her, man. But she just goes down here, out of the way. So chair her here. Second chair. I have both ciphers in front of me. Perfumer's injured. We're just waiting. I know Priestess is gonna come rescue. She's gonna portal through the actual shack. I pop a peeper here, and I didn't think Priestess would be fast enough to actually do that. And I'm going really lightheaded by talking so much. But yeah. She ends up dodging that. And unfortunately for me, or fortunately for me, she ends up not hitting that. Sorry guys, I gotta breathe. A lot of talking, but the game is more than likely over here. Like, there's no way they're gonna win this, right? So you just hear me mac on this kid. She tries to like rotate out of there. I don't pop the tentacle because I tried to like hit her there. You clearly saw, but she ends up falling for this. Easiest trick in the book. Priestess is over there just wondering like, God, what the hell am I doing? I don't know what to do. This game is over. I don't know why I haven't surrendered yet. Literally 8 minutes of my life down the drain. She ends up successfully rescuing here. But what happens here is she thinks I'm going to chase her. She ends up going through the portal. There's a tentacle at the end of the portal. So it's kind of blows for her. I end up spawning a tentacle over the actual wall here. Spawn another one there. She tries to circle, but because the tentacle was so close to the actual wall, she ends up bumping into the wall and the tentacle. I end up emoting here because, again, this is a stream sniping team. This team likes to cheat. Get them all the time. I see it almost every day. But yeah, that's game one. Alright boys, second dragon match of the day, and there we go. I don't really know the spawn, so best thing I usually do is just go through the middle, because someone usually comes up the stairs up here on the left of me. I catch Priestess, I try to, you know, this is a very important pallet, don't drop that pallet early, in my opinion, especially for playing Priestess, but I don't know, the kid decided to troll. I'm looking at these ciphers because, again, I don't know the spawn, but I do know that someone's at Shack. Who it is, don't know, don't care. All I know is I need to find out. Find out what to do, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, I fucking spaced out there. I end up finding out who it is because Cowboy's swinging his rope. He thinks I'm gonna head back to that end. They do like to go like back and forth. It's a very safe area. I end up missing the hit. I end up missing a hit again. I end up popping a tentacle here. The guy expertly kites that motherfucker, and then I end up hitting him here, right? So because Cowboy is Cowboy, he's gonna fly across the map real quick, and I'm not gonna catch him because he gets a free speed boost for zero reason. And then I got Priestess here trying to help him. That cuts into the decoding time. At this point, I'm not gonna chase Cowboy in like what is the strongest part of the entire map. So I say fuck that, and I head up back to Shack because someone's working on the cipher. I realize it's coordinator. I do my maneuver where I put a peeper there, I put a tentacle there, and I go through the window. And then she decides to put me on my knees and execute me with a bullet to the brain. So she ends up running off because I think she has broken windows. I'm not entirely sure, but she got quite far with that ball, right? That leads me to believe she does not have Tide. It's whatever. I'm chasing her here. She goes up the stairs, which is not bad. I end up going for lunch here because hits are what I need at this point, right? I need that tentacle regeneration. I end up popping up through here to see where she's going. She ends up popping that. That stops me, which makes me lose track of whoever the hell was in the building. I get rid of that so she doesn't come back up. And at this point, I'm going to see what she's going to try to do. She ends up trying to kite back inside the actual area. I'm not going to follow her because it's Priestess. And you know, I hate myself, but I don't hate myself that much, right? So I end up going for Cowboy again because I don't know where the hell the coordinator is. He ends up flying across the map again. He ends up eating that hit. I end up seeing Ento here, pop a peeper, just to disturb her decoding, and I'm like, fuck her, I really need this coordinator. She is by far the easiest target right now because just, first of all, she has no item, and second of all, I already, you know, bonked her in the back of the head, right? Pop a tentacle here, it's piss poor, she ends up outplaying it, she jumps that, knee-jerk reflexes kick in, and then I feel like she's gonna kite there, but she doesn't. She ends up dropping this pallet, and then she ends up dropping this one. And at this point, she's doing really well and wasting my time and my utility. And I have Cowboy here coming up on the left trying to rescue her, and I'm just like, god damn. So I end up smacking her in the back of the head because she's pissing me off so much. I pick her up, put her in this specific chair. I hold her for about 2 seconds, 2 to 3 seconds, but more like 2 seconds, honestly. Because because I really do not want to risk. I have, like, what, my first down at 4 ciphers, but they just popped another one, so my first down in 2 ciphers is really bad. He's trying to piss me off. It's working. I'm slightly irritated at this point. So then this kid tries to grab her, so I have to, like, push myself onto him, and then the bees come out of nowhere, which means 2 people. That's 3 people not decoding, right? These goddamn ciphers are flying off the fucking shelves, man. Anyways, she ends up, I think, she ends up running to the corner of the map, and then I know I have to, like, make a play here just to, like, slow the decoding and the harassment. I end up missing everything here virtually. I end up popping a tentacle here. She slow balls because we did put a peeper there earlier. She ends up eating a hit. So that's 3 damages on the map. That's a total of 9% minus decoding, which is kind of fat, and it helps a lot. That's why we run panic, right? And then at this point, I have trump card. I know I literally need to chair this person, right? But Priestess really needs to suck me on the other end of this chair, so she does that. I end up signing this here. It completely misses because Priestess is broken, and she outplays me every time. Tentacle misses. I don't know why. It is what it is. At this point, I'm not worrying about hitting anyone else. I'm worrying about killing that Cord, because Cord is on her last chair, and a good rebound kite could mean the death of me. She's playing really well. I put a tentacle here. And then I end up going for a regular swing because the regular base ability from a tentacle is, it's really slow. It's pretty useless, honestly. Especially when vaulting, right? So with that being said, I know where 2 of the 3 people are. I end up chasing Priestess because I'm not going to chase a cowboy in the goddamn worst part of the map. And then I end up catching Entofar. I spawn a tentacle. And then I go for a swing here. I successfully do it. And the only reason I did go for a swing is because she was not peeling off. And that's very punishing. If she pulled off that cipher and just you know, played it safe, they definitely would have won this game. But, you know, it happens when you're this greedy. Things will happen. So I end up putting her here next to the closest cipher I could find. And then I see her over there, and then she runs back in the hospital, more than likely, because if I catch her out in the open, she already took a hit. So this is probably the most boring part of the game, where I just push people off because I really need this down. They're not healing, so they either wait till the cipher pops, and then she comes, you know, she comes rescue. I knock her, cipher pops, she rescues successfully. They do a good rebound kite. Either way, it's a tie. But, I don't know what else she could do in this situation besides, like, sneaking behind me, but I kind of just have her on point because, remember, I do have that built-in tinnitus, and the fast regeneration I have right here, that indicates that she's still in my vicinity. I don't know where she's at, I just know she's in the building. So I end up swinging the tentacle. It tells me she's straight down this way, so I push myself a little more over here, and I think she's, like, rotating back, so I put another one there, but then I have an announcement popping, and that tells me where everyone's at. Priestess is dead, and all I have to do is kill this cowboy who still has a lot of rope. Between the 2 targets, I'm just going to choose cowboy because he's out in the open. He ends up lassoing across the world again. That's fine. It is what it is. And here he ends up eating a hit. I don't know how that landed. I think I had, like, my ultimate on him. And then it runs out. Yeah, I have my ultimate on him, and then I think it just runs out. Like, yeah, it just ran out. So now I'm just waiting to get a hit. I'm waiting for Nightmare Gaze to proc. I'm trying to get the actual mark on him. He ends up lassoing over me like a god because there's virtually no cooldown time. And then he just ends up dying. And that really concludes the game, right? So this is a lot of luck. And a lot of the fact that I was just doing damage and then he just kept asking for heals. And then the more heals he asked, the more it cut into their actual time. And then because they decided to rush me with multiple people, it really cut into the time. If, let's say, it was a more harass-heavy team, I think I would have definitely lost. Because that's probably the most annoying thing ever. And this kid's just being the loudest person on the planet. But that concludes game 2. And I'm just going to rush on down to make 500 more videos because I have like 60 of these things lying around, right? And I don't want them all to delete.